Let me make myself clear. Our elections are safe and secure. There is room.
After working every election in Arizona for the past decade, I have seen firsthand the desecration of our elections. I have no faith in the 24 election until Arizona goes back to one day, one vote, paper ballots, and no machines.
Just because the mainstream media won't report on it and judges won't hear cases on it doesn't mean there wasn't election fraud. It just means we have the safest, most secure elections for the criminals, not the voters.
I was a judge at a polling site here in my community. I saw many rules and regulations broken. I have no faith in our election.
As a Democrat, do you trust the election system?
No, I don't. I don't trust the machine. I don't trust politicians, and they all lying to us. Y'all need to learn the Constitution.
When I was a kid, I was so proud of being 18 and going to vote, showing my ID and voting, and knowing that night who got elected. I come to Arizona and with this day and age, 30-something years later, you can't even figure it out. Arizona looks like a joke.
Get rid of the machines. Move back to precinct voting with paper ballots, hand counted, and you'll have free elections again.
I would like us to have legal elections without fraud, and I would like it to be in person with real registrations for ID.
After this election, I find myself completely demoralized with the election process in Arizona. Laws were broken, statutes were not followed, no one cares.
Damn it.
If our votes are so important, why would you drive them all over the city and wait so long to count them?
It seemed what happened in this past 22. I mean, in my world, with all the hundreds of people I run into, I don't even know anybody that voted for the Democrats. And it seemed like the votes that they got were, I don't know where they came from, because it's just everybody I talk to and everybody I run into, they're just shaking their head like, what the heck happened? They don't know anybody either. So when you take, 100 people in my sphere and they all have their sphere all saying the same thing, they know one, they know two, and they know these Democrats that voted Republican because they didn't want, the people we have now. And I don't know how it all works. I sure like to figure it out. But are they getting all these new people early and going out and harvesting all these people to get in, and we all wait to the big day and the one day to vote, which might be part of the deal? I have no idea.
I do not believe in the elections because of voter integrity, because of the accountability of the ballots and signatures.
Our elections are corrupted. We must go back to voting in person on election day with a hand count.
Voting machines. I was the first one in line, and I witnessed two problems with the voting machines.
So, I'm allowed to have questions, right? And question is, Katie Hobbs, refused to recuse herself as Secretary of State. She never debated, never campaigned, never comes out, and you really expect me to believe that she won? There's no way.
Been voting for over 40 years as an independent. If people cannot see the compromise to our country and the security and the elections, we are doomed. Wake up.
I saw proof of failure of following chain of custody laws when transporting the ballots to Renbeck for counting.
Arizona 2024 is as easy as 1, 2, 3. One day, one vote, paper ballots, hand counted on site, in our own neighborhood precinct. Hey, it's not rocket science, folks.
No one should believe in election integrity without checking it. I've worked 20 years in the election polls in New Jersey. I've worked in multiple districts. Keep an eye on it.
Hi, I am an Arizona Maricopa County voter, and I don't trust our election integrity because it takes over a month between voting and counting, and it should be one day, one vote.
I distrust the election results here in Arizona because of multiple reasons, but we know that Renbeck was involved and 300,000 ballots violated the chain of custody, and that was completely wrong. How can you trust it?
Sat there and twiddled their thumbs for a majority of the time and didn't even bother to enforce any of the subpoenas that they filed against me.
Maricopa County, Arizona resident, and I don't have confidence in our elections. Our election procedures currently rely too much on trust and not enough on transparency. All right, do you trust the election system?
No.
Why?
Because it's ran by the U.S. government system.
I live in Maricopa County, and I'm concerned about the integrity of the elections, just based on the fact alone of the machines not working properly. Lots of people turned around and didn't vote.
Look at the last two elections. The leaders, the winners didn't even campaign.
Do you trust election integrity?
No.
Why?
2000 rules is on point.
Thank you.
To the fraud during the 2022 election, I have lost all confidence in the election process.
That's my thoughts. I don't trust anything that's electronically done.
Because I know anything electronic can be hacked.
One day, one vote, paper ballots, in person, no machines.
Tabulator counts and chain of custody ignored, signature mismatch. The elephant is too large to fit in the room anymore. Is there anyone who does trust Arizona elections?
I don't trust elections because machines are used that can be rigged to get the results you want, because hundreds of people were dropping thousands of ballots and ballot boxes all around town.
When I went to vote on November 8th, the tabulating machine would not accept my ballot. I was told to put it in box 3. I'm not sure when it got counted, but it certainly was not on election day.
The 2024 election will be decided by the machines. It's not up to me. It's not up to you. It's not up to we the people. The machines will determine the outcome of the election, because after all, we still have the machines.
I voted in Arizona in 20 and 22, and those elections had so many questions that were never answered, just swept under the rug.
Canvassing over 16,000 homes, and 34% of the voters said they use a different method to vote than what was recorded. I have absolutely no confidence in the 2024 election. We need to change our systems and laws now.
I am a Mojave County resident, and I have been disenfranchised by Maricopa County the way they handled the 2022 election. We need to get to one day, one vote, paper ballots to fix this problem.
I know someone whose voter history is incorrect. He reported this to Maricopa County. He voted on November 3rd, election day, in person, and put the ballot through the tabulator himself. But his history is recorded as having received an early ballot and voting at an early vote center on October 9th. They even have signature envelopes with his signature on it that got accepted. He told them this is wrong. They told him this is his history. No investigation, no remedy.
One day precinct voting. 27 days of voting is a waste of taxpayer money and time. Fire runback and follow chain of custody protocols.
I don't trust elections where mail-in ballots are not notarized. Every vote is a legal document, and legal documents need to be notarized.
Those in charge of elections have done nothing but fight verification of the results. I cannot trust the system going forward until transparency is restored.
Arizona's absentee ballots worked well in the early 2000s. Today's mail-in ballots leave a large space for doubt and fraud.
It is only the willfully ignorant listening to fake news that still think the 2020 and 2022 elections were secure.
I would not trust any election machine hooked up to the internet. If there's a cable running to it, to the internet, I'd have trouble trusting that.
My ballot was rejected by the broken tabulators in the 2022 election. I have no confidence that my vote will count in 2024.
My friend moved here from California, registered and voted in 3 elections, yet received California ballots too. I have no faith in our elections anymore.
In my mind, elections will continue to be questionable until the results are known election night, like many other states.
Knocked on doors and personally found many discrepancies with the Maricopa County voting records. These records need to be cleaned up, and now.
We must bring back one-day voting in our precincts to restore the integrity of our elections and for our republic. Paramount.
A lot of tabulator machines were broken on election day, given that Republicans vote on election day, causing a huge disenfranchisement to voters on election day.
I have no faith in the results of our elections.
I think, in some areas in Arizona, there was judges ordering for the election to be certified or else. And I'm sorry, if those issues weren't resolved before the election was certified, that's a big problem. Because how do we know that our votes were actually counted? If we were having tabulator issues and they're just like, oh well, we're going to go ahead and certify the election anyway. Whether you're Republican or Democrat, you want your voice and your vote to count. Is it?
I pray every day that God grant courage to our leaders so that they tell the truth about our elections. I fear we are losing this wonderful country.
I volunteered for the 2020 audit here in Arizona, and I witnessed a lot of discrepancies on the ballots.
I don't trust elections because election voting machines were connected to the internet, and it is proven they were connected to the internet.
Outlaw the corrupt voting machines for all future elections. Thank you.
Our elections are about as safe and secure as our southern border. How's that working out for us?
In 2021, I canvassed homes verifying voter registration. One homeowner didn't know 14 people that voted from his home. Obviously, we have a problem with our elections.
I don't trust our elections due to the fact it's a machine counting it. It takes over a month to do it, and dead people could vote.
Do you believe we have election integrity? Do you believe that the machines are safe? Do you believe ballot bots are legal? Thank you for your service, sir.
Thank you to our legislators. One day, one vote, no machines, hand count 2024. I look forward to a new election history.